What up? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And look at you. You done stumbled upon little OTB Saints, where we bring you all the latest black and gold coverage.
Who are the Saints going to draft? Who's going to be their quarterback? What does the salary cap look like? All that information and more.
Hope you enjoy it. Like, subscribe. You want some more bad offensive line stats? Why not?
Yeah, sure.
The Saints, this is the real pathetic one here. I think this is actually, you'd have better perspective on this, Jake, but I think this is actually hard to do. The Saints ran the ball 13 times on first down on Sunday. They gained 1 yard or less 9 of the 13 times. 1 yard or less 9 of 13 times. I feel like in the NFL, you should trip and fall into 2 more often than not. You could literally just run a line and dive forward. They're currently 26 in the NFL with 3.4 yards per carry.
I mean, the Eagles do when they get in that formation.
Yeah.
The push formation. It's guaranteed.
Yeah. We should send a plaque or an award or a statuette to anybody who stops a single Jalen Hurts QB sneak this year.
Yes.
Because I think it's impossible.
Y'all saw the nickname for it?
No.
Brotherly shove.
Oh, that's really good.
So
much
awesome.
better than the Bush Push.
Yes.
I'm ready to be done with the Bush Push.
Yeah.
Brotherly shove is great.
Yeah.
So 3.4 yards per carry. They're 28th in the NFL with 3.3 yards per carry on first downs and 27th with a rush success rate of 27%. So it's not just pass blocking that's killing you. You suck at run blocking.
Yes.
That's making everything harder. And what do you think about this quote from Allen here, Jake? Quote, ultimately, it kind of comes down to your fundamentals and technique. Look, sometimes you get beat in our league. I mean, that happens. But we got to be better on a more consistent basis. It certainly happened too many times this season, and we've got to be better at it. This is kind of the second intimation that I feel like he's kind of pointing towards coaching a little bit. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But when I see ultimately it comes down to your fundamentals and technique, well, yes, the player's supposed to execute that, but who's supposed to highlight that? Who's supposed to impart that?
Can I also say that fundamentals and technique are not coached in the NFL, and they really shouldn't have to be?
Yeah.
I can't tell you one time, and shout out to my guy Ollie Wilson, my running back coach there for the Chargers. He's not there to teach me fundamentals and technique.
Stay low.
He is there because we're going through the plays, we're going through the different coverages and blitzes and run fits and all of that. Like, he is there to go over the game plan with you. You're a grown adult. You are a grown man. And so in the NFL, that just doesn't happen. You don't have the time. There's so many things that a defense does against you that's all you're worried about.
Yeah.
Like, very, very rarely, like, you might have a rookie come in and they'll stay after practice and they'll work on some fundamentals and technique, but
what about during camp and stuff?
Not for vets.
Yeah.
Not even second year vets. It's just because, like, it's such a part of what you already should have in your repertoire that we're not going to go over that. Because, again, man, there's so many things that a defense can do in the NFL, and it changes, T-Bob, week to week. That's the difference between college and pros. Like, college, like we talked about with Arkansas last week, we knew what they were going to do. They were going to run single high safety because that's who they are.
Yeah.
You played, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Packers when I was playing. It was like, what are they going to do this week? What's going to be the front, the blitz, the coverages that they do this week? Man, are they going to walk Clay Matthews around like they did a couple of weeks ago? Are they going to line him up just every time on the edge like they did a couple of weeks ago? What are they going to do? So that's what you have to worry about in the NFL, and that's what position coaches are talking about, individual matchups, player versus player. Very rarely do we talk about fundamentals and technique. So, like, to even hear an NFL coach even say that, it's like, well, what are you talking about?
Well, and he went on to say that they're identifying things correctly. Like in the blitz and everything, that it's not they're not getting confused, they're not having mental mistakes, they're just getting beat physically, which is actually an awful place to be.
You're talking
like probably the worst of the two choices. I'd rather be okay physically and have to figure it out mentally versus the other way around.
I mean, left guard, center, right guard, right tackle, vets. Like veteran-ass veterans.
Yeah, true. So they definitely know what's going on.
And left tackle, Trevor Penning, obviously, like he's still learning how to play at this level. So that to me, I don't know what you're going to do to help those veteran guys that have done it before. Like, do they have the yips? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Are they doing things that they've never done before? Maybe that's a different conversation. Now, Trevor Penning, he's raw. He was always going to be that. You and I watched him at the Senior Bowl. We're like, man, this guy is dominating. It's raw. It's not sound.
And he actually played well against Packers. He better for like he wasn't the biggest issue on the offensive line.
I think the issue is the interior.
Yeah.
The biggest issue, at least it was.
No
last week.
doubt, no doubt. It just I was surprised to learn that Ramchick actually had as many big bad moments as he did, even if he's still not as bad as the interior on a play to play.
And remember on the broadcast, I don't know if y'all caught, well, Mario, you were working. They said like Gary, like somebody, like they were talking about, they felt like he had a matchup that was going to favor him before the game. Like they talked about that before the first snap, and they kept talking about. I'm like, oh, imagine, is it going to be on pinning? And then when you lined up on Ramchick and then had the success that he had, I'm like, what did they see? Like his teammates said, he is going to have a big week this week, and they talked about it numerous amounts of times on the broadcast. I'm like, against Ramchick, like really,
They knew
like
it.
that?
They knew it, dude. They saw something on film that told them it was going to happen, and happen it did.
So that does worry you. That other teams are seeing things that they can expose.
So here's to hoping that the Saints can figure out a way to get it fixed sooner rather than later. Again, there is some value in having such a clear problem because, like, sometimes the hardest problems to solve when you're like, well, I can't really put my finger on what's going wrong. Well, you can see what's going wrong, but it is a problem that I just don't know that you can fix overnight. Wow, just amazing black and gold takes right there, Jake.
I don't think I've ever heard any takes that are better than the two guys that just gave you that take.
And you can keep getting them by going ahead and liking, subscribing, ringing the bell to get notifications when we post. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next OTB Saints.